Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim Hardcore playthrough. Today we are picking up the action here in our swamp castle. And yep, we have another crypt that we need to clear out in the swamp that is not far from here. So let's get some appropriate gear happening, including, if you remember last time we forgot our door knocker. Well, we're not doing that again. We've got our door knocker, we've got some arrows, we've got our fancy armor, and we've got some very good food. So we're in a pretty good way for running a crypt in the swamp. We've got a few denizens to clear out along the way. You may remember in the previous episode I made reference to wanting to spend a bit more time in the swamp at night, simply because we're going to need a reasonably good supply of chains moving forward, and one of the easiest places to get chains from is to kill the Wraith that inhabit the swamp at night. So I did a few little chores like smelting and things of that nature to run out the clock as far as the day was concerned, and as early as I could get underway after sunset, that's where we're at the moment. So the potential downside of doing this is we of course have a higher chance of bumping into 1 and 2 star variants of our usual denizens. So, did we run into any of those? Well, no spoilers here. You're gonna have to wait and see. Alright, we just did a bit of a quick unload there at the Bog Witch. We've still got a bunch of chests there that I use as a bit of a drop-off point. We want to make sure our bags were as clear as possible before going into this crypt. And yeah, let's see what kind of adventures await us in this lovely and highly desirable holiday location. Said nobody ever. Now, we do pretty well as far as getting scrap iron out of this crypt. I was a bit worried with the lack of options there at the start that it was going to be one of these really, unexciting ones that you only get a couple of stacks of iron out of, but it actually turned out to be a pretty decent one. And I am very definitely looking to get as much iron as I can. I'm still, even now, I'm close to a week on from when I recorded this, and I've spent multiple sessions just, trying to get more iron, smelting up what I had, crafting some more spare equipment, because at the time I recorded this, I think I'd only had enough iron, or at least the only pieces I'd made. I think I made another helmet and upgraded it, and that was about it. I did have more iron there, and I subsequently smelted it, and amongst a bunch of other copper tin, and made a bunch of bronze for spare tools. Essentially, I'm just trying to gear up ready for when I manage to do another stream. At the moment, look, enthusiasm-wise, I would love to, drop everything and do a stream pretty much straight away. Now, at the time of actually doing this voiceover, it's literally just gone the 1st of July. So I'm back to being slightly ahead of my normal schedule, but there's a very good reason for that. On the weekend, I'm having a visitor, and I'm going to be a little bit more time poor than usual when it comes to being able to, record and edit things. So it's not to say I won't have time to do a little bit of that, but on the off chance that I'm too run down, I just wanted to get this sorted and uploaded ahead of time. Now, that said though, depending on rest and fatigue and all the rest of it, I want to try and do a stream, I should say, between now and when I'm due to have a couple of weeks of vacation in early August. Of course, we're only at the start of July, so my vacation's about 5 weeks away is when it starts. During my vacation, I'm definitely planning on doing at least one stream during that time. I'm certainly not going to be spending my entire vacation doing YouTube stuff. I'm planning on, doing other things, and potentially, shock of shocks, I might even do a bit of work on trying to work on my fitness. Yay, that could happen. I'm also painfully aware that my resistance to caffeine has crept back up again, so I may use that time to sort of cold turkey off caffeine for a bit to try and reduce my resistance. So I'm sure that will be fun. Said nobody ever. But look, between now and my vacation, so somewhere within the next 5 weeks, if I can make it happen, I want to try and get a stream in. And whether or not we're going to be doing the boss during that stream, I still don't know. I have a funny feeling I may know where the next boss's altar is. I haven't actually been to it yet. I thought I caught a glance of something when I was sailing through. It might not be, but if it is, it's in a bit of an awkward spot. So there might be some more exploring required, but the boss, in terms of what we need to summon the boss, is not a problem. We've got heaps of bones. I mean, you've only got to run one of these crypts usually, and you'll get enough bones to be able to summon bone mass. That is not the problem. The problem with bone mass is sometimes the altar is often quite a long way away from where your starting position is. Not always, but in my previous playthroughs I've had to go quite a long way to find a bone mass altar. If this bone mass altar is where I think it is, that is not necessarily the case with this playthrough. So The big problem I've got with doing bone mass, and I want to once again do this as a stream, which means inviting some guests along. Most of my regular guests don't really have much in the way of playthroughs of their own beyond the Bronze Age, which means I'm pretty much going to be providing equipment for them, in addition to needing a bit of spare equipment on the side. And that means a lot of iron. I mean, each of the iron mail pieces takes 20 iron just to make the base piece. And then for the 3 upgrade levels, so to go to level 2, level 3 and level 4 is 5, 10 and 15 iron each respectively. So what's that, 5? That's another 30. So for each 1 piece of iron mail upgraded to level 4 is 50 iron. And there's 3 pieces to the set, so that's 150 iron to make 1 fully upgraded set. Now that's not including a shield, that is not including a weapon, that's just the 3 pieces of armor. So, and this is the fundamental problem I have with all of my playthroughs, is even when I'm not in danger of losing my armor when I die, just getting all of the pieces together, getting enough iron to make all of the pieces is quite a bit of work. And this situation is probably the primary reason why I set my loot at 2 instead of at 1. So basically I generally get double up of everything I'm looting, and this is the situation that was the primary motivator, because I knew if I was not getting additional iron, it would probably take me 6 months to gather enough iron to get sufficient, equipment and spare equipment to do a bone mass raid. So by that logic, if the loot's at 2, then it's going to take 3 months to gather. And when did we do Elder? That was only about a month ago. So look, I'm hoping by the next raid that I'm going to have enough pieces. If I don't, the next time we do a stream, we're just going to be running crypts so that we can get the equipment, like we can get the iron we need to make the equipment we need to be able to kill bone mass, and then set us up well enough to, venture up into the mountains, which will be our next significant biome that we're going to be going into. So, yeah, stay tuned for all of that. But I'd love to lock in a date, but honestly, my sort of fatigue and headaches and migraines and other issues have been a bit more prevalent of late. Probably going to blame a bunch of different things for it at this stage, but they're all things that are reasonably under my control, so it's just something that's got to run its course. If I don't end up catching the various strains of flu and COVID that are going around at the moment, I think I'll be in a fairly good place in a couple of weeks to be able to do a stream. If you guys would like to see that, and you would be very keen to maybe even participate in that in the sense of watching the stream, then look, leave me a comment down below. Do you like the time that I normally do my streams? Now it's winter time here. I'm not competing with being 2 hours ahead of pretty much everywhere in the Northern Hemisphere relative to winter time when we're sort of better aligned. Starting earlier probably doesn't, as much as that would work for me, that doesn't work too well with most of the time zones. Starting a little bit later might be achievable, but I'd only be talking about maybe starting an hour later than what I have done previously. Based on viewership, that might be a good thing, but again, if you guys want to, pop a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you've got any other inputs or ideas to do with what you'd like to see us do on a stream, hey look, throw those down the bottom. In the meantime, I'll take all of that on board. I may I'll throw in a few community updates as I become more aware of when I'm going to be able to do the stream, and look, we'll just take it from there. In the meantime, though, we are taking a lot from here. That is the scrap iron and this swamp crypt. We're actually doing alright with it. We're also finding some useful vendor loot, which is very important because I'm planning on making more of the Bogwitch style craftable items, so the feasts and more importantly the buff brews, and so they all take mats that are from the Bogwitch, and of course that costs money. So the more of this fat loots that we can find, the more of those we can make, and hopefully I'll have a decent selection of those next time we have a little stream as well. So that will be very entertaining. Now, speaking of very entertaining, I've had quite a long spiel. I might actually stop for a bit of a breath here so that you can be very entertained by me digging holes in muddy scrap piles. Now, I mentioned that we were doing alright as far as scrap iron goes. How's that look? Does that meet your definition of going alright? I mean, that's what, that's almost 150 scrap iron, and we're still not done yet. We've still got a good, I don't know, about 5 minutes left. Some of that is still digging holes in this crypt, I think. Yeah, this is a great thing about having a fantastic memory, is I can't remember if we got some more digging to do or whether we're about to do a runner. But either way, we have managed to achieve quite a lot of scrap iron from this crypt, and that is definitely going to come in handy. That said, though, based on our earlier calculation, yeah, 150 scrap iron, yeah, that's one set of gear. And I'm gonna want probably 2 sets for everyone. So Yeah, we've got some more work to do. Alright, there you have it. 158 is our tally for this crypt. I won't say no to that. That's a pretty good start in terms of getting some more equipment going. So we're just doing our little trick here with the Troll Endurance mead. Takes us up to a max carry weight of 700. We're just going to min-max this so that we've got exactly 700 on us, and then we're going to run all of this back to the chests at the Bog Witch, and I'm just going to use that as a bit of a relay point to getting everything safely back to our castle in the swamp. Wow, it's not really in the swamp, but castle in the forest just doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Alright, and we're back for our second run, but we're going to use the not patented Rob Lazy method of getting things around. Because we've literally just done a run from here to the Bog Witch, we've killed everything and nothing's had a chance to respawn. So we're using that as an opportunity to just lug everything else in one trip, just to save us a bit of toing and froing, and to lower the risk of other things respawning if we take too long. So, yep, we just run it over to here. Well, we stagger it over to here. We dump it on the little landing pad here and wait for our stamina to regenerate. Yeah, rested buff would probably come in handy about now. And quite possibly I should have sat down at the Bog Witch for a minute or two just to get a basic rested buff going, but coulda, shoulda, woulda, forgot to remember to do so because I was tired. So that's a thing. Anyway, we're back here at the Bog Witch chests. We're going to drop off the excess iron and other things that we have here, and then we're just going to load up and take some iron back to the castle. And once we're back there, I expect we'll probably end up wrapping up the episode. Alright, and here we are safely back at the base. The old Ichthyr buff definitely comes in handy, particularly when your rested buffs run out and you're keen to run from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. So yeah, we're here, we've unloaded, and we've reached the end of the episode. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.